Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to some more of The Farmer Was Replaced, the 1.0 release. I suppose, load? Start, what would start do? Expand to? Okay, excellent. So start just puts us straight back in. You know, we've got my little field. And then at the very last second, we sort of just slapped this out. And she was working very, very well. Now, what did I do yesterday? Well, I mean, I did this video yesterday, but what was I thinking? There was something critical. Right, it was about plant entities bush that we wanted to revisit. This is all good and well, but we're going to want bushes. Actually, we should... don't. Not just yet. Because I was going to say we can spend the wood. But I want to resolve this problem before we step off. This was our main code. This was our experimental sort of play space where we've now got it to do a while for check, for loop within a for loop. And that's pretty impressive for the first half hour, to be honest. But what we really want to do is have it check essentially at every step if it can plant, right? And I don't really think there's any disadvantage to just have it do that non-stop. So we could probably just lead with something like that and see how we go. No, now why isn't it doing that? You can see the loop. So it gets involved in here. So all through you can... Oh, it's very difficult to do it. Oh, you know what? We might be able to go line by line. Yeah. While true, plant. For I, move east. Harvest, move north. Here you go. So look, there you go. So within these three lines, it will essentially be in this one sort of cardinal direction, north to south. And then it jumps back out into the degrading get world size I range, which will now jump it across to the next segment, or at least it should. There we go. And it'll do that for 3 times. So what we need is the plant check to actually be in this loop, right? So let's give this a go. What if we cut that? We'll clean that up. And then if we just stuck it at the top of the, right? See if that works. Ah, now what's going on here? The problem is it's checking the plant status before it's harvested. And it would seem it can't just plant a bush on top of an unharvested field. So I suspect... Again, look, I talk with authority because that's the only way I found that I can get through life without crying. But that doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. But let's see. Harvest plant. Harvest plant. Look at that. A bit of trial and error never hurt anyone. Excellent. And now we're generating wood. Isn't that wonderful? So we got to the bottom of it. I'm happy to leave this in the secondary function and keep that at main for the moment. Like this, maybe we end up with a bunch of different windows, whatever, as long as I'm keeping track of what I'm doing and you're keeping up as well. I'm recording these 2 episodes relatively back to back because I'll do a worth your time, worth your money on the channel. So I haven't gotten any feedback. So drop a comment if I've made a mistake or I'm going too fast or if I'm not recording. No, I am. I'm definitely going to do my traditional tab out to check. So we need carrots for that, for speed. Increase the grass yield for 500 wood. Well, we're not quite there yet. So what we'll do is we'll just fire that up in the background. That needs carrots. That's got plant entities. Carrots are for wood. Debug. I think... let's get the debug first before we put carrots into the mix, right? Could probably get rid of this. Okay, debug. Sometimes your code just doesn't work and you need to find out why. There are a couple of tools to help you do that. The first is to execute the program step by step. You can go into step-by-step mode with the button next to execute, which is exactly what we just did, right? We literally did a real-time debugging exercise to find out why the planting wasn't working. And, you know, you were there. I don't need to explain it all again, but that was a systematic approach of tearing the thing apart line by line to get to the bottom of it. Breakpoints can be added by clicking on the breakpoint panel, like that, right? When execution reaches the line where the breakpoint is, it will automatically switch to step-by-step mode. So, what's a facetious example? Like, I find an oversized example can help illustrate a problem by exaggeration. You know, say if this window is 100 lines long, and you know your code's clean for the first 50. Oh, excuse me. But perhaps it needs to, I don't know, set it up in some way. Sorry, just having a quick sip. Perhaps the issue is in this square, right? So we don't want to just click through line by line by line by line. We want to let the drone harvest, you know, the 8 squares before it to get to the 9th to figure out what's wrong. Maybe it's not looping around. Maybe it's down here. We've got dirty code with 50 lines. So, you know I'm extrapolating a lot into blank space here, but perhaps you follow the example. You'll have a breakpoint. Well, I can't put a false one down there, but you'll have a breakpoint down here at square 8. You can hit run and it will almost instantly, because it's so fast, run straight down to the last grid with all the setup of the previous grids, and you can follow the breakpoint from there, right? When you move your mouse over variables, its current value hang on, if I jumped across something, when you move your mouse over a variable, its current value is displayed. Yeah. The print function can also be useful. It will write any value passed to it directly into the air. Oh yeah. Let's call a new function window and test that and see what they're trying to say. All right, no, just this line. So I think 0.024 will just. Oh, that's very clever, right? It's a sort of commenting interface. It's what's a good example? It can be, here we go, hang on, print true or false. Print can harvest. This is good. This is okay. So if we do this, it should say true. It'll probably say true, to be honest. Yeah. This is a good way to demuddle yourself, right? Once you get into lines of code, like even though this little bit of code here, it's actually moderately complex, right? We have loops within loops under true statements with degrading for loops, right? Like in action, you can see that it is complex, and perhaps you get befuddled and like I can't remember what this, that, or the other means. So using print will give you an opportunity for the code to kind of tell you what it's doing at that point in time. It will help you find your footing and write your settings. Print the current position. Oh, that's cool. What are you going to get there? Now, what's origin? What if I stop that? Yeah, see, because this doesn't reset. Is origin here? So what position do we reckon that is? 2 and 3? Let's find out. Error. Unlock sensors. Oh. Okay, right. We don't have that unlocked yet. Print function prints the value directly into the air in the output. Enter the output page. We don't have that unlocked, I don't think. Writing into the air can sometimes be a bit slow if you want to print a lot of values. If this is the case, you can go quick print function, which prints only to the output window. Okay, right. So there's an actual window that we're probably about to unlock, right? It'll be around here somewhere. Now, what is this? Operators. Arithmetic, comparison, and logistic operators. All right, let's move on from print. Let's make this smaller because I'm getting confused. Okay, operators. Arithmetic operators, which you can probably recognize, right? Plus, minus, that sort of stuff. Equal to or equivalent, right? Not equal, greater than, less than, or equal to, that sort of stuff. And then Boolean operators, which, we covered Boolean, which is binary. That's how I see Boolean. I always have 1 and 0, but potentially red and blue, true and false. It's an either or fixed term. So not and or, right? All numbers in the game are floating point numbers. So all arithmetic operators are floating point operators. This is defined to just floor the is defined to just floor the number after the division. Okay. I'll take your word for it, game. Moving past that for the moment, for assignment operators, you need to unlock the variables unlock. It might be further down. Oh, there it is, variables. Introduction. Operators allow you to compare, modify, and combine values. The arithmetic, because we've dealt with essentially a lot of static values. I guess the for loop decays, but true equals true. But I mean, you could probably, I don't know if the game will let you modify what true actually equals. That'd be bad. Anyway, arithmetic operators, comparison operators, right, is 1 equal to 1, are used to compare values. The rest is always either true or false. The logic operators, also called Boolean operators, are used to combine truth values. All right, so what do we got here? 2 plus 3 equals 5, fair enough. 3 minus 2 equals 1. We've got multiplicative. So 2 times 3, yep, 5 over 2. This does the same thing as this, but the result is floored, rounded down to the next integer. Oh, is that what that means? Okay, cool. So 5 over 2 equals 2 because it would equal 2.5, but 2.5 in normal rounding is up, right? I'm sure everyone, God, I hope that's what everyone thinks these days. You never know. I see occasionally on the internet people put up the bomb das meme, and it just upsets me how much the modern generation can't figure out that you do fucking brackets first. It just boggles my mind. Anyway, I digress. So essentially, this floor symbolism, which I haven't really come up against much, to be perfectly honest, is a hard round down. And this is to avoid partial integer upward rounding in something that requires whole numbers, right? So 2.9 rounded normally in just normal math often equals 3, but if you're dealing with we need a minimum of 2 no matter what, 2.9 doesn't really equal 3, does it? It equals 2 with some extra crap hanging on. That's how I see it. That's how the floor symbology works. What is this? Percent is the modulo operator, also known as the remainder operator. Essentially divides its 2 numbers and it returns the remainder. Okay, so it's like a sundry component. You can also think of this as repeatedly subtracting the right number from the left number until the remainder is less than the right number. Yeah, okay, let's walk through it. 4 essentially divides the 2 numbers and it returns the remainder. So 4 over 2 is 2.0, right? So no remainder. 5 over 2 is what? 2.5. It evaluates to 1. Well, hang on. That doesn't make sense to what you just explained to me. Subtracting the right number from the left number until the remainder is less than the right number. Oh. Okay. I'm not quite across this, to be honest. See, I get that 6/2 because it's just sort of clean division. It essentially divides the two numbers and returns the remainder. So how do you get 2 out of 2 divided by 6? You can also think of it as repeatedly subtracting the right number from the left number until the remainder is less than the right number. Now, how does that work? Think of it as repeatedly subtracting the right number from the left number. So if I take 2 from 4 and 2 from 4, we get 0. 2 from 5 is 3. 2 from 3 is 1. I get that. 2 from 6, yep. Well, how does this work? 6 from 2 equals 2. Are they doing it the other way around? 2 from 6, 2 from 6? But how would that equal 2? So, this boggles me. And I'll be honest, your example doesn't help very much. 1.5 modulus or modulo 1 equals 0.5. I understand that. This I don't understand. 2 into 6 equals 2. Oh, hang on. Until the remainder is less than the right number? Nope. No, that doesn't help me. Anyway, let's just skip over it. Apologies, team. That's not really something I've had to work with. We've got the power operator. 2 to the 2, 4, -5 bracketed to the 3. Okay, sure. Comparison operators. Is equal to and is not equal to, right? So 2 is 2 equals true. Evaluates to true, right? Entities to bush is not equal to entities to bush equals false. How do I put this? Sorry, I'm getting the shits that I don't get that. So my brain won't move on from it. I'm sure you can relate. Well, yeah, this is a pretty good example. 2 equals 2, right? Statement is true. So it will return true. Saying that bush does not equal bush is in fact a false statement. So you'll get a false return, right? 3 is not equal to 3 plus 1 equals true. Yep, cool. Interesting that it just considers the entire equation without brackets or anything. Good to know. Greater than, less than numbers, that's fine. We can skip over that. Logic operators not simply inverts the value true. All right, not false equals to true, not true evaluates to false. Sure, I get that. And evaluates true only if both values are true. True and true evaluates true. True and false equals false. False and false equals false. Okay, yep, cool. This is all pretty straightforward logic operators. It's good to go back, honestly, to first principles, because that's what this really is. And granted, my engineering is more like going back to, say, like first principle math. But logic operators and all that are cousins as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, it does me well putting myself out there and just talking about the fundamentals, because I'm a big fan of to teach us to learn twice, right? Like, if you think you really know something, try teaching it to someone else that doesn't know it. And you might be shocked and even embarrassed a bit by how not across a concept you are when you actually have to tease it apart and teach another human. It's a really good exercise in consolidating your own base. All right, so what's going on here? Carrots. Here we go. Before you can place we could have left this running the whole time. Whatever, who cares? Before you can place carrots with plant entity carrot, you have to till the soil. Oh, this will change the ground to ground.soil. To till the soil, simply call till calling till again will change it back to grounds. .grassland. Now, I wonder if bushes can grow on tilled land. Planting crops will cost wood and hay. These items will be automatically removed when calling plant entities. So immediately, I don't know, maybe you guys, your brain does this as well. I envision writing a script that when it returns I cannot plant carrots because I'm out of hay and wood, it in turn will start planting one of the other things. Now, if you have a look at its own page, plant cost carrot, it's 1-to-1. So, this is getting fiendish. I'm just sitting here thinking about the problem, right? Because say you have enough hay, but you don't have enough wood, bush, whatever, right? You would want it to plant essentially both, potentially both, and then come back to planting carrots by checking the currency. But you can't count your currency. We don't have the capacity for the program to tell itself what is up here, right? So just because you and I know that we've got 499 hay doesn't mean that the bot knows that, right? All it knows is when it hits 0 of one of them, it's going to stop planting carrots. I'm hoping I'm not getting ahead of myself. So you would have to have a false true comparison of check. Well, for starters, no, I mean, can we call those variable? Can we? What are they called? Hay and wood. This will be interesting. Print, wood. No, wood. Is it capitalized? It is capitalized. Right, so we can't call that. That'd be cool if we could, right? So we can't actually generate our own variables and place into memory. So that's cool. That limitation makes this puzzle even more interesting. So what you would do is you try and plant the carrot, ultimately, and it would fail. And then you would, what would you do? What would you do? You would probably do a lap. An alternating lap. I reckon an alternating lap might be the go, actually. No, go away. I want to do this one. It's interesting that it has the little grow. Oh, I guess it's trying to grow in that split second in between the plant being planted, right? Plant. See what I mean? Like it tries to grow. How could we tell it to... God, what was the code that we used? I might be able to find it. What was the code that we used when it was going too fast? Unlocks. Speed. Can harvest. Can be harvested and false otherwise. Now we can use the if to prevent the drone from harvesting too early. So what I'm trying to do is I want it to loiter and I want it to actually harvest the wheat. And then plant a bush. What am I doing? If can harvest. Oh, that's what I'm missing. Oh, hang on. What's this do? That's kind of doing what I want, right? If you have a look at it, it's letting the bush grow and then it harvests the bush. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So how do we put that into here? We'll call another function, just have another play space. We'll copy all of this. And what we might do is stick this in here. Oh my God, hang on, what have I done here? I'm pressing caps locks for starters. Okay, that's interesting. Now let's see if it does a lap of... Oh my God, hang on. What have I done? What have I done? It's going to be particularly hard to debug. If can harvest. Harvest, move north. What if this goes here? Yeah. Yeah. No. Oh, what I want is if can harvest, harvest plant entity. Here we go. That's it. That's what I wanted, right? Have a look. She'll do a lap of wood. Oh, will it? No, see, it's not doing wheat. So the important part here is this. It's harvesting and then it's moving north. right? And what that means is it doesn't replace the hay with like a wood plant, right? And that's why it gives it time to step off. And here we've got them kind of back to front. And we had them the other way around and it wasn't working. But if we were to do it and have a look. So what have we got here? Plant entity bush. It's interesting. Oh, you know what it is? It's planting the bush and then it's immediately harvesting. Is this actually getting no yield, like no hay at all? Right. It's immediately harvesting the plant in its infancy. Right. So you need the plant entity to precede the if can harvest. The other alternate is that we could make two loops, like alternating loops. So we could say, do the wheat for 9 squares, sort of like what it's doing now, and then have it plant wood potentially as it goes, I suppose, and then have it harvest all the wood for a loop and then reset. That's, We've also got like if, like true equals true. If like, is there a term for? Oh, look, there's your coordinates. 0. Oh, that is origin 0, 0. One last thing before we rip up. So you could go if, what is it? Grounds. If grounds. Oh, damn it. Terrible code. What you see? Oh, water level. Oh my god! What I'm trying to do is ask it to call and compare what the ground tile is. What were we doing? Can harvest. It wasn't speed. It was unlocks carrots. Calling till. Sorry, I was getting it. I was kind of jumping past this problem, right? So what if we just go till? Oh, what have I done there? Okay, that's cool. And then if you call till again, it changes it back. I would love a 3-hit combination. So hang on, let's go till, plant, and then harvest. How long does it take to grow? Oh my God. If can harvest. Would while false work here? I guess I need brackets. No, it'd be true. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. It's going to hitch until it's grown. Excellent. I just want to spend a few more minutes on this. See, because then the tilling reverses it. And then it gets stuck. What if we go like while till equals true? What am I doing there? It's tilling and it's harvesting. Why are you harvesting when you never make it to if can harvest? Yeah, see, that doesn't flash up. While till equals true. Well, that's obviously not very helpful, so we'll get rid of that because I don't want to close this off and be confused. Okay, so look, in an ideal world, we actually have a 3-prong approach, and what we'll probably do next time is go back to the beginning. We'll just break it down first principles, right? But essentially what I want it to do is I want it to harvest hay, harvest wood, and then harvest crop, which spins those previous two. In a way, it's like 1 + 1 - 2 equals carrot sort of thing, right? However, saying all of that, our net result would be we'd just be making carrots and we'd be running our income down to 0. So maybe that's not the best approach. Anyway, the point is this is a brain twister, and this is how you code, I suppose, right? This has been my experience with it in industry. Poking and prodding and trialing and erroring and figuring it out before you push it to a live environment, that sort of thing. Anyway, cool. Let's wrap it up there, team. Let me know if you want to see some more. We'll keep chipping away. Otherwise, I might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.